Catherine, how have you overcome the assumptions of being docile in your pursuits of becoming an advocate?
To be honest, I don't know that I've actually been able to fully overcome those assumptions. I think it's important to acknowledge that those assumptions are always there. Even in the context where I've been able to be an advocate or where I've been outspoken or made very forceful points, there's always sort of a kind of comparing my response to what the assumption is that they still hold, and not really being sure how to respond to me because they still are sort of connected to that assumption, and are wondering, even as I speak, why I'm not aligning with that vision of what they feel an Asian American student or employee should be like or act like. But one thing that has been really helpful for me is talking with the students who I work with and talking with my colleagues, and recognizing that if we don't say something about, I don't know, some of the injustices that we're seeing in education, or if we don't say something about the issues that we're really trying to work on together, we aren't necessarily going to be able to move forward because people don't necessarily have the information that they need in order to understand where we're coming from and why we are advocating for what we are. So having those conversations, building community, and basically having these deep dialogues, these critical dialogues with students, with colleagues, with friends, with coworkers has been really central, because those are the discussions, those are the conversations that really ground me, that help me to understand the issues that we're working on politically, morally, ethically, and that kind of gives me the understanding of why I'm doing this work. Another thing that's been really helpful, which I kind of mentioned in my first part of the response, was actually learning the histories of Asian American women who have come before me, who have been in academia and who have stood up at great personal risk and personal expense to themselves, and professional risk and expense to themselves. But recognizing that because they did that, and because someone was brave enough to record their history, I've actually been able to not just be a beneficiary of everything that was accomplished because they spoke out and because they advocated for these things in academia and in writing programs, but also because I've been able just to read their stories and to realize, wow, it is possible for Asian American women to be leaders. We have been leaders. We will continue to be leaders. As one of my friends puts it, organize wherever your feet land. And I think in reading those stories and speaking with these women who have really transformed academic writing to make sure that they include the voices of students of color, I've sort of been able to witness and see examples of what it means for Asian American women in academia, and specifically in writing, to really organize where their feet land.
Love it. Stay tuned for part 3, where I give Catherine more of a space and time to elaborate on the why.